Brand new!
We coming from a long bloodline of trauma. We raised by our mamas, Lord, we gotta heal. We hurting our sisters, the babies as well. We killing our brothers, they poison the well. Distort itself in.
What's going on, good people? Welcome back to the Q Zone for Reality. It's your boy Quawayne, Quaweezy, Qweezy, whatever you want to call me. Just don't call me late for breakfast. We're back with another episode. Super excited today. I have a very special guest. But before we get into our guest, just kind of want to put out why I do the Q Zone for Reality. This is a hobby of mine, but at the same time, it is relatable issues that really give viewpoints and just different opinions to issues that's going on in day-to-day lives with regular people. You might find something that you're relatable with the topics that we discuss, but at the same time, you might not. But somebody else might want to hear this. So, share the word, and we're gonna get into it. Now, today we have a very special guest. I've been waiting for a while for her to come. She's by way of SoCal. SoCal. We got Miss Levada in the house.
What? How are my people? Okay. All my Los Angeles natives stand all the way.
Shout out to Los Angeles.
Shout out.
Now, so I got Levada because that's, I don't know if that's a nickname. So is that a nickname for you?
That is my middle name.
Middle name.
That's my middle name.
Okay.
My grandmother's first name.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And do you mind giving us your actual first name?
My first name is Ebony.
And is there any reason that you go between?
Well,
or choose rather?
I choose Levada because that's what my checks come in at. So
that's the moneymaker.
That's the moneymaker. That's what I chose when I was acting.
Okay.
And when I'm hosting, when I'm emceeing, anything of the such, that's how I get paid. My Instagram is also levada.groovy.
Oh, okay. Now, usually, y'all already know I usually ask that at the end, but we're gonna put that back on there, right?
You can ask it at the end too. They may forget, and they need proper spelling.
Just in case you forget, we're gonna get it on there.
It's been all type of misspellings.
Okay. And for the people, obviously we're gonna go by Levada because that's what you prefer.
Okay.
But for the people who don't know you. Your bio, just a quick overview. Where you grew up at? How was your family life? Just a quick little.
Okay, I can do that. Well, right here on my arm, it says, thank you, LA, okay? They say where you do middle school and high school, that's where you're from. So that is where I am from. But I was born in Sacramento. I moved to Memphis after that. We came back to California, to Palo Alto, stayed there for a few months, and then moved to Inglewood. And stayed there for a year and moved to Los Angeles.
Ah.
Yes.
Los Angeles. So
all over.
You cuz of blood.
Cuz what? I don't know anything about any games.
Like, all right. No, y'all don't know that. Y'all don't know that's the wood right there. That's a classic right there. Y'all better get on game.
Please.
Okay. So you, by way of Inglewood, how was that transition for you? Moving that much as a kid? Did that impact you at all?
Because I'm personable, I didn't know it at the time. Because I just have a personality that can kind of adapt to any environment. Didn't really bother me. Having friends, that's something I just do so quickly. So from Sacramento, if I couldn't go outside, that was like cruel and unusual punishment. Like, right. What do you mean I cannot go out? I'm coming in this house musty every day, every chance I get. The same in Memphis. It was the same in Inglewood. When I moved to Los Angeles, not so much, but at that time I had fully involved myself in sports. Okay. So yeah, basketball is my thing.
Hey.
Any hoopers out there? Look at the wrist. Yes.
Monica. What was that pose you was doing?
I want you to stand there until you get sick of it because I don't want to see it again, okay? Coach.
Again, that's another classic. If y'all don't know, that's Love and Basketball.
Please.
Get up on game.
Please do research out here. Oh,
Man. So, okay, so before we get into the groove, would you like to give a shout out to anybody?
I want to give a shout out to, I'm going to give it to my immediate family. Mom, dad, brother, sister, and my nephew.
Shout out to the immediates.
Yes. Give them all love because we're all in the house and they are going to miss me come Tuesday because I will no longer be living in Los Angeles.
Okay. So that's a whole, we're going to get into that. Trust and believe. Watch that. Watch this. Watch how this works. Okay, so I came across Miss Levada by way of a mutual friend, Leah Bay. She's going to be on another podcast, so stay tuned for that one. We are, well, I will be. Yeah, she's really great. Positive energy, just going on all-time high. So she already graduated Cal State East Bay, or Hayward, if you guys don't know. And then Leah as well graduated. I am a late bloomer.
Look here. We're going to get you one. We're going to get you alumni.
Right. I'm graduating May 2019. I hope so.
Congratulations.
Wait
a minute. They got graduations in May now?
In May now, because it's semester system.
It's semester system.
Yeah, so they switched it. So I'm actually doing an extra semester because they switched from quarter. I would have graduated in March or April or whatever.
When did they become semester system?
Last year, last fall.
Okay, all right. I'm like, hold on. Because I was looking at everybody's graduation like,
right.
I'm still doing midterms, guys. I won't make it.
See,
so yeah.
And the best part about that, it's graduation May 18th and my birthday May 19th.
Oh,
so,
okay. Taurus?
Taurus.
I like y'all.
Tauruses
I
in
dig
the house.
y'all. I dig y'all.
Turn up.
Yes.
We
Fellow
got
it. I got you.
You a Taurus too?
No, I'm a Virgo.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
okay. But
yes.
yeah, we positive.
All the way.
Good signs.
Mm-hmm.
Now, your history in East Bay, because I mean, you moved to Inglewood, so
no, when I got to Southern California, Inglewood was my first destination.
Okay.
But then Los Angeles became quickly the house that I call home.
So you left Los Angeles to come to East Bay.
I did.
And then, so what was that? Why not USC or UCLA?
You know, in January of 2009, I had tore my ACL playing basketball. I did not want to go to college at home at all. I felt like I needed to go. If I had to go to college, then I want to leave Los Angeles. And then it came down to where the 2 scholarships, they backed out. They didn't need me anymore, so I was hurt about that. And then luckily I had the mental capacity to save me and get me into 24 of the 26 colleges I applied to.
Hey, shout out to Black
yes, up here. However, the 2 were Cal State Fullerton and Cal State Long Beach. Those were the only 2 colleges I applied to in Southern California. I mean, Los Angeles. San Diego I applied to, they accepted me, but it was still too close to home. I need to get out, get away from my parents and do all of the damage that I intend to do. And I did that plus more. So I needed trouble in my life. And I got it. Figured out how to move around it and became a better person.
Okay. And then, so on your way to East Bay, like that decision to go into East Bay and stay, because you eventually went back home.
Eventually, yes. It was not my first decision, but I did not have any money. And the degree that I had criminal justice and communications. I double majored. How can I say it? Didn't really permit me. Communications, I couldn't find a job soon enough.
Okay.
Criminal justice, I couldn't get the job because of my background. And so I was like, well, I can't stay in these dorms. So the only place to go is home. And that's how I ended up back home.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And now how's it been since graduation?
It has not been favorable at all. because before basketball, my first love was entertainment, acting, poetry. My first time being on the stage was 6 and I was playing the piano. So I had my life figured out at 7. I'm going to be an entertainer and I'm going to travel the world. Bright lights. And my parents were just like, no, honey, you have to get an education. So that put a halt on it. Fast forward to 20 years later, I am still going to pursue entertainment and I have absolutely nothing to do with my degrees. Absolutely nothing.
Sometimes it works out like that, though. I just want you guys to know.
That's no shot at the future East Bay alum.
Right.
No shot.
Right.
Right.
So, okay, so what are you doing right now?
Right now, my parents and I own a transportation company called Time to Go Transportation.
Okay.
And we transport those with mental disabled needs. So from the spectrum of in a wheelchair drooling to if you are a very high functional adult who has a job, we transport you from your home to your day program. And outside of that, what Levada does, I act. I am a poet. I am a writer. I am a host. I am an MC. So you will see me from strip clubs to rap concerts to poetry lounges, everywhere, to commercials, hopefully in the near future.
Hey. So, because earlier you said Tuesday's your last day.
Tuesday is my last day.
So where are we going?
We're going to Atlanta, the Black Hollywood.
On a trip to our favorite rocket ship, swimming through the sky.
You know.
Little Atlanta. Stop it.
Yes, I was trying to follow you. Like, where you going with this?
That's good. That's good.
Yes.
I mean, that is Black Hollywood, right?
That is Black Hollywood.
A lot of.
If you are not working, you are doing yourself a serious disadvantage. I don't know what it is that you have to do, but you're not doing it. And Atlanta is that place that is affordable for me, and it has worked for me.
That's dope.
Yes.
That's dope.
So I'm on my way.
A friend who is from Oakland, and he moved to Atlanta, and he had, been in jail and everything like that, and he got out and ended up going back to school, got his BA from Morehouse, I believe. And now he's in these nonprofit organizations, and he's meeting, I think he met Obama and a few other big wigs. And obviously, in Atlanta, you can kind of come across famous, celebrities and stuff like that just through passing in the malls and the galleries and stuff like that. And so, he just he puts that on. Not to say that always happens, but at the same time, just his opportunities, what he wanted to do as far as school, they opened a lot more, and so he was kind of promoting it like, oh yeah, hey man, if you ever want to, come out here, we can do a podcast, and I can introduce you to some folks and stuff like that. And so, I kind of got hedgeway to, okay, that might be the place, and I've been there before.
Oh, how'd you like it?
It was good.
It was good.
It was just a visit.
How was the weather for you?
The weather was, we went in the summer, me and my brother, shout out to Janelle. We went in the summertime, so we went to go see Martin Luther King's church. We went to, here we go. So Five Guys, okay, so true story. We went to Five Guys, right? And we ordered some fries, and like the people picked us apart. They was just like, y'all not from around here.
Oh,
right?
Okay.
Right. And
y'all must have came dressed like this.
Right. And they thought we were some celebrities. And we didn't have to pay for no meal.
I played it.
I'm gonna take that up, okay? You order some gratuity on that
one? Large drink, please. Right. No ice.
No ice. And you gotta ask for a straw in California now, so I don't know how the laws are in Atlanta, but you might not have to.
You gotta ask for a straw?
Yeah, they ban straws, plastic straws, so you have to ask.
It's been so long since I've ate out. It's it's something that I have to familiarize myself. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm a cooker. Not because I'm just elaborate at the situation. This is because my diet.
But you might be elaborate.
We'll have a cooking show in Atlanta. if you come.
Okay.
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 Got you.
Don't. Y'all know, don't tip me. Because I'll come.
Look.
First flight.
I'm not going to call you late for breakfast.
Right.
Because I don't eat meat, that does not mean that I don't. I am the only person in my house who has this particular. I'm a pescatarian. But I'm vastly moving to vegetarian.
Okay.
Like
I'm a meat.
It's there. You're a meat. Gotcha. With turkey, beef, pork?
So I don't eat beef or pork.
Okay.
Me and my wife, we don't eat beef or pork for like the last 2 years. But chicken, ground turkey, fish, shrimp, all the good stuff, all the crustaceans, we definitely take.
All the okay.
All the
No discrimination.
No
The
discrimination.
crustaceans.
Lobsters, your sea, my sea,
Lord.
the Pacific Ocean, the
Lord.
Pacific Ocean for some of my black folks.
Yeah, specific and Pacific, they just, just get it mixed up.
Right. Okay.
It's difficult.
So, going into Atlanta, right? And this is a really good topic, and this could obviously relate to Los Angeles as well. Atlanta being a large population, heavily populated of African Americans, right? Speaking on this, so this podcast is we're gonna name this one Too Deep for the intro because we're just gonna be talking about some real deep issues and topics, right? And try to make them sound, but definitely try to get some understanding and hopefully there's a message or something that you guys hear that is beneficial to your ear. So the black community now, right?
Okay.
Has anything changed from how it was when you were growing up?
Well, when I was growing up, you still had people who wanted to get an opportunity to chastise you for doing wrong. Like I said, when I was living in Sacramento, if I'm outside, then that means other kids were outside with me and their parents. They all knew we were out there being children. We bad. We throwing stuff, kicking stuff, running away, maybe stealing some things. I never stole. It wasn't me. But the news does travel to the parents, and the parents are just like, okay, you're getting a whooping, and you're getting a whooping, and you're getting a whooping. My father was never big on that. Don't touch his kids, and don't touch him. He wasn't like that. But that was something that I do remember that I don't see now. I don't even see children outside. So I really would like to know where most of the physical activity is coming from.
Right.
That's a question for me.
Okay.
So do you know?
I think delinquency is a big thing. I just did. I'm in one of my classes is crime theory, and one of the my last project that I'm doing is on routine activity. And
is Rippy teaching that class?
No, Marwa. Yeah, it's like I think it's a Indian guy. But I just did a PowerPoint, and one of the articles that I found was saying that the child, teen delinquency without parental knowledge leads to to delinquent behavior and just routine activities that lead to doing things that you have no business doing.
Right.
And so I feel like nowadays kids, they just get into whatever they want to. Whatever is free, whatever sounds good, whatever sounds appeasing to them. A friend says, hey, we better go to the burger shop and steal some fries. If they sound fun and funny and I'm gonna have a good time and benefit off getting some fries, that's where I'm going.
You know what? I was thinking the opposite. I was wondering, what are they doing at this point? Like, where can I find them? What's their pastime? Do kids know how to skate, ride bikes?
Oh man.
Because I see a lot of phones in hand. So I'm wondering at which point do they put the phone down and tend to enjoy whatever they want to do.
And that's a whole nother, that's a really big and a really good question, because I was just asked, my son's 9, he'll be 10. And I was just asked, hey, is he going to get a phone, when he turns 10? And I'm like, I got to really think about it, because he has a tablet right now.
Okay.
Right, and on the tablet, YouTube, the whole Momo thing that came out.
I do know about that.
And so, if you guys don't know, YouTube Momo challenge, and it's this
parental discretion
is
advised.
Yeah, definitely. And you guys can get more details on that. But I was just like, really contemplating, like, I don't know, because having a phone that's outside of, my supervision or, parental supervision or even his grandparents, where he's able to do whatever he wants, and somebody says, hey, did you see this? Did you see that? And bam, he's on it, it just kind of keeps us in the dark, but for him, he's allowed to do whatever he wants, and so I try to keep that away from, the phones at least, but that's what you see a lot of times. Kids are away from the public, sitting down somewhere on their phone, having fun, Snapchatting everything that they do, smoking, a lot of kids are smoking early nowadays.
So this leads me to ask another question. If the kids are here doing this, where are the parents?
Well, some are working.
Okay.
Some are not.
Okay.
Some are home. Some are just hanging out. Some at their sister house. Some at their auntie Jelly house. Okay. Right. And grandma watch the kids. Right. And I mean, some just don't care. I see videos, on YouTube or WorldStar. So you can go on there and you see these different type of videos where the parents, it's just like, get out of here, get out of my face. They're cursing.
I have seen those. I have seen those.
I can't expect or have the expectation that they're with their child, right? When they're busy, hanging out with boyfriend or hanging out on the phone or wanting to make a Snapchat or Instagram video or story, so they don't want the kid and go do whatever you want to do.
Okay, I asked because I have really phenomenal parents. I was raised with both of them, and the age gap is large, but I think it was needed for a child like me. I always felt like, how do they know what I'm doing? Like, one is always working, and the other one, she has shifts that she goes on. So if my father was, coming in at 7, my mother is going right out at 7. So there was always somebody supervising me at some point. Like, there's no way that I'm going to be gone for 4 hours and one of them doesn't know how to find me. Right. So when I asked the question, like, where are the parents? I'm thinking back to childhood, and I always had that thought in my head, like, how do they know that I'm lying? How did they know that I was over here? What kind of psychic abilities do they have? I must not be sneaky enough. I must not, because I'm doing this. They're nowhere around, but still they found out.
No, it's really tough. I know, me as a kid, we were able to do, what we wanted to outside. I was never the troublemaker. My brother was. He liked to get into some mischievous things.
You just threw the brother under the bus. Brother.
Sorry about that, man. But
brother.
I would follow him. He's older than me. I'd follow him, and whatever he said do, I did it. I always said, hey, it's bad. I remember, having that conscience, because it's with me now when I see or feel like something is bad. No. I don't like it. And so, but when you see the street lights, right, and my mom, yes, she'd be calling our name, and you can tell the different moms. Because exactly. Let me listen. Be quiet. Let me check, because that might be my mom. Because it was at least 10 different neighbors around us where soon as that, and I'm talking about, my mom would yell out every single name. Every single name. You're like, hold on, because who's she on right now? Is she, she on my sister? Because if ain't no other Quawaynes. So you hear Quawayne.
I ain't never heard of another Quawayne in life. Like, where?
Hey, y'all, we got to go. Yep, mom calling us. Dinner ready. We got to go get. And that's really what it is. And, even if we were up past, our bedtime a little bit later, we were in the house, and door was open. We were on our video games. We had the Nintendo 64 or the PlayStation. Nintendo. Shout out to the old school. Y'all don't know about that for the new 2000 back. Y'all don't know about that old school.
Blowing Nintendo card.
But for sure, I feel like that nowadays with parents. They come home from work, and a lot of them are so tired. That the time that they have, it's like they don't want to come and appear as the disciplinarian. right? And so it's like, okay, well, my child's been doing everything he's wanted to do throughout the day. So now he's with me. I don't want to come in and force any rules. So continue to do that. Go play what you want to play. Here's a tablet. I see parents when we're out and the child is complaining at the store, and it's like, here's my phone. And so they feel
that is very
after
real.
a while, every single time they know exactly what to do. Go into a tantrum, and mom's gonna give me the phone because I want it, right? And so now you got kids answering phones, right? They're texting back.
Yes, you will never know. I don't know if you had
never know
that curfew of the phone. They can't call you
You
after 8:30.
don't call after 8.
But now you'll never know because they can text.
Right. And
I'm
so
jealous.
y'all don't really know about landlines, right? So you got the cord that goes into one of the plugs and it goes into the phone, right? I was so glad for the cordless phone growing up.
I still got
Shout out to the cordless because if it wasn't for the cordless, can you unravel pull it, and like people tripping over the cord, right? And so, but you knew you had a time. So I grew up with 9 brothers and sisters in my household, and so outside of my aunts and stuff calling, I want to talk to my mom, right? I would get a few minutes on the phone. My brother would get, my sister, and it was just like we had it was in order, right? Okay. And so, but it still didn't stop, obviously, delinquency outside, right? For that time that we were allowed to be outside, a lot of stuff happened. Fights happened, and we stole stuff. Not anything that's big, candy, drinks, shoes, clothes, if we needed it. And so that, that's really what it was. And really, has it changed, really? Has the income, I mean, yeah, the wages have went up, but the ratio from, capital annual income versus, the cost of living, has that,
the dynamic is, it's off. It's off because I really wish my income could match my exhaustion, because I'm coming home and I'm exhausted as if I've worked 24 hours straight,
right?
But I'm getting paid maybe, I don't know. I don't want to say minimum wage because it's not, but I feel like it. And I feel like I've been working 24 hours. And this rent is hitting me every month. Every month. I
mean, as a kid, you're like, hey, shoot, we come home, turn the AC on. Turn the TV on and keep it on all night.
Boy, if you don't stand in the window, because I'm not about to run this AC.
Now I'm like, yo, that California AC, I'm trying to get every little breeze that they got. Roll the windows down. I'm
trying to figure out how you're doing it because I had to buy me some fans.
Yeah.
Like, hold on. Wait a minute.
Actually, the house I got now, we don't even have it. We just got heater. So, like, find the coolest spot in the room,
Sometimes the heater don't work.
And sometimes the heater don't work. It don't work downstairs, but it work upstairs. How in the world we gonna do that? But,
look,
it's really a change. But it hasn't changed as far as, I'm making a couple dollars more. But now me as an adult, everything costs more. Every aspect of life.
Oh my goodness.
Me going back to school. In my time frame, I went back to school. I couldn't get financial aid. I didn't qualify.
You're paying out of pocket.
So I was paying out of pocket. And I did get some loans, but I was paying out of pocket, initially. And then I wasn't working because I didn't want to work. And I wasn't married at the time. But my wife works, and so she was like, she supported me through like the first half of my schooling. And I was like, I was super grateful for that. To not have to work, not have to stress, to do work, get back into the groove of education. But everybody doesn't get that opportunity.
No.
Everybody can't just, a lot of people, when I go, and it's like, I got to work right after class. So when can I do my homework?
When you're not tired.
When you're not tired. And then you get off at 10, 11 o'clock, and you expect to do homework for 2 to 4 hours. And you got to read 3 or 4 chapters.
You might get an opportunity to do it on the days that you're off.
Right.
Typically, that's the day that it's due.
Right.
Yes.
And now as a parent, right? So you do that. And then as a parent, right? So you're not even watching the child. Grandparents watching the child. Or my wife gets home earlier than I do, so she has a few hours, with her son. But I don't get to see him, but except in the morning. So I miss you know, and we try to FaceTime, and I try to see him, let him know that I love him and everything like that. But, you know, I'm tired at the end of the day. And so it's, man, I get home, I want to shower, I want to eat, we play a little bit, and then it's like, all right.
I'm through. I'm going down for the count.
I'm done.
Yes.
You know, and so it just goes. I mean, one of the good questions that we ask is, you know, are we being raised right? You know, as a culture. Specifically going into, I mean, not to disregard any other, you know, race, you know, but specifically, you know, African American, you know, culture, knowing that we're the bottom of the barrel. You know, our neighborhoods are predominantly poor, wrecked. You know, I mean, if you guys ever heard of the broken windows theory, where just everything got, you know, abandoned buildings, you know, you got drug addicts on the streets everywhere you go. You know, that's real life. And so, you know, are you able to raise your child? You know,
I think a lot of us are tired. We're just tired. I don't think we have that opportunity to be raised right. Like we just said, we just had the conversation about work. But also here, I'm going to upset some people. I like the people in the Bay Area better than I like the people in Los Angeles. Here's why. The people in Los Angeles, when I look at some of the faces that I pass by on a daily basis, or just in the car driving, and I'm watching people walk down the street, it's a look of defeat. It's a look of despair. I want to see more smiles, but knowing that they can't give it to me, it's like the quickest answer would be, smile about what? You got some money for this? You got some money for that? And it's the fact that we're not making enough to cover what we need to cover. And security is very big for Black people, because if you don't have security, then where do you go? There is no place for you to go. There's no place. Like other ethnicities, they have the option to rely on a strong family. But if your whole family is in the same situation that you're in, they don't need the extra stress. They just can't take it. They can't hold it. Also, wealth, they don't need the amount of disrespect that comes with despair. Like when you're in such a grime state of mind, sometimes you don't have the opportunity or the possibility to even think positive. You're just thinking of, how can I get this? And sometimes when you're in that mentality of how can I get this, it's not always the way of integrity. So if you ask me, I don't want to unload another family on my couch. I'm not going to allow it. So why would another person that's walking down the street with this look on their face, why would they allow it as well? You know, so security is really big. And without it, you just have to focus on how to get it. You don't focus on raising children. You don't focus on education. You don't focus on anything else but not losing what you have. As small as it can be. You just don't let me lose this. Everything else can go to shambles.
I feel like that's one of the reasons why, you know, coined the phrase, you know, crabs in a barrel. You know, we're constantly fighting for something. We're constantly fighting, like to hold our own, to hold our ground. You know, and I always think of the perspective to where, you know, if you guys know crabs, if you put them in a bucket, right, you see them like clawing at each other and everything like that. It's like in relation to, you know, African Americans and poor, you know, communities, you can have 5 families on the same apartment floor, you know, and those 5 families could have different incomes, slightly different, but the living conditions are the same. Now everybody's house is different, right? Still might have a smell, still might be dirty, but it's still configured differently, right? But then if this family, because they have more children, say they get their income taxes, and then now they buy they buy a van. They got a little extra money, so now they buy the kids some extra shoes. The family that's next door, the kids, they don't like that. So they want what they have.
Mm-hmm.
But they know they can't get it from parents. So how do they take it? They steal it.
Exactly.
And then the cycle of violence is there because it's like, oh, well, he trying to show off. He think he better. She thinks she's better than me.
Mm-hmm.
So let me put on a disguise, take from my friend, and then come back without the disguise as myself,
Mm-hmm.
and then have some type of sympathy.
Yeah, that sympathy part. That's almost like a running joke. Like black people are the only person that'll steal your stuff and help you look for it.
And help you look for it.
Help you look like you know you got it. Give it back. You know you got it.
I didn't even have to see you. We don't have to have no kind of cameras, no type of physical. Like
you the only person missing.
You the only one that was here.
Mm-hmm.
You told me you was here at 5:05.
Mm-hmm.
My stuff was here at 5 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
I left at 4:59.
Mm-hmm.
I came back at 5:10. Where's my stuff?
Where's my stuff?
Well then, okay. Well, can you empty out your pockets? I'm not about to do all that.
Okay. I'm gonna get defensive.
So right.
We're gonna fight.
And I think that's one of the things that we suffer from too, is just being super defensive.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's really, in the wrong, in the right. I mean, we gotta argue for our point, and we gotta argue when we're wrong. Even though I
hate to
kid you
admit
not.
I hate to admit it.
I mean, you be in dead wrong, caught. I'm talking about the food is in your shirt, falling out at the supermarket,
Mm-hmm.
and you still telling me I ain't stole nothing.
I am of the female species, and there are times when I have to argue just to argue. Look, you are not going to be right, Q. Stop. Just stop now, because I'm trained to argue this way. I've been doing this since 1991.
Right.
I'm not going to lose now. I'm not going. Yes, I am. There were some people who had to explain to me, like, you just want to argue.
You just want to argue.
I'm just trying to tell you the point.
See.
One person who did that for me was Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle definitely shut it down real quick. Rest in peace.
Great.
He shut it down, and he wasn't disrespectful. He didn't get loud. He was just like, hey, look, you do what you gotta do, and I'm gonna do what I have to do. Maybe we can work together one day. Took the argument just like that. Like, well, I want to argue. He was like, no, and got in the car.
Just like that.
Just like that.
Real life situation.
Real life situation at the Shell gas station on Slauson and Crenshaw. This was about 2 years ago, and I'm just in one of my moods that day. Somebody who I was dealing with at the time, he told me, he was like, I'm not about to argue with you. If you can't see that what I'm telling you was logic, maybe you need to go and sit in the corner by yourself and figure this out. He had told me that approximately 3 days before. I'm just like, it's me. It's me. I want to argue. I'm being defensive. It's me. I'm defensive. And I'm just like, okay, something's really wrong. Something's really wrong if you have to defend. It was something so trivial. Pizza. Let's just say it was pizza. He was just like, if you can't see logic, I'm not going to argue. Go sit in the corner or something like that. I'll be back. And I'm just like,
yeah, I'm going to take that.
Okay. Okay. So I had to put on my big girl drawers. I had to stop trying to stop, because you never know the advancement if you just sit and listen.
Right.
You never know. And I hate to say, advancement came when I just sat and listened.
I like that.
Although I talk for a living, so.
Right. So I mean, so it still comes with
it. Comes.
You hesitate, but it want to come out. It want to fire back. You got the smoke sizzling, right?
Okay, you're right.
Okay. So a question.
Mm-hmm.
What is the alarming reality that we as African Americans face that no other generation has faced?
I think technology. Technology is probably the biggest anomaly that has hit us that has not with any other generation. And so other generations before us don't necessarily know how to interact. And the generation below us, are we all clumped together from now until 2019?
Yeah.
We're all
I think
clumped
they
so far?
claim us as millennials.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, yes. I'm going to say after 98, 97. I don't think they know how to interact in a world without technology.
Right.
Is it 97? Maybe.
07, did I have anything?
I'll give 99.
Right. Yeah, I'd say 99.
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe in not in high school, but in grade school, middle school, I think I had some like dial-up computer.
Mm-hmm. Yes, AOL.
Internet, AOL
yes.
kind of came with Messenger.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So a lot of things
AIM.
you could say. Right, AIM.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Before the sidekicks came out. T-Mobile was on for that one.
They were.
So technology, being that it's a major issue, right? So obviously we know that mass media moves just the world, right? It puts a perception and imagination on the world versus African Americans. That is just true to the bone.
Mm-hmm.
I have a friend the other day who was sitting in Jamba Juice and heard, a couple of, this white couple talking, and he was riding his motorcycle, so he had a short sleeve shirt on, tattoos were showing,
Mm-hmm.
but she starts talking about the millennials nowadays and how like the crime is like crazy high and it's like dangerous areas and everything like that, and kind of put in some like African American, characteristics. And so he said he stepped into the conversation. He said, "Excuse me, hey," and he's just start kind of placing the why it started happening, and why it happens in the mindset for it. And then the perception that usually people have of African Americans that's not necessarily true, right? And she had to apologize to him and told him that she thought that he was a thug.
Just by looking at him.
Just because he had tattoos and he was black.
On the motorcycle.
On a motorcycle. Because that's what criminals look like. Criminals are African Americans.
Really?
And on mass media, you don't see, the white, a pedophile every single day on the news. You don't see the domestic violence that happened, and this is the 10th call in the Suburbans every day. But you definitely see Devontae, who assaulted, DeAndre, or you see a lot of mass media that shows predominantly African Americans or minorities being criminals. And so that's all she said, and that's what she told him. She's like, "That's all I see." And so she's like, all the crimes that I see, African Americans are committing.
Okay.
And so she had to apologize.
I would have to have asked, what news channel is she watching?
I'm just trying to figure out what news channel. And you had it was there at Bayfair. And so I'm just like, you in like an area where African Americans like frequent. I'm in that area. I mean, it's pretty urban in that area. But I just thought it was interesting that that's the reality. And one thing that
she was in the dwelling in Bayfair.
In the dwelling.
That's where she was. Okay.
And just because he had tattoos, he was uneducated. He couldn't speak well. He was probably a 5-time felon.
In her mind.
In her mind. That's the scariest thing I heard D.L. Hughley say on this album. So he said the scariest thing is a white person's imagination. That is.
Because they get the opportunity to use it in every case of the law. Every case of the law. When it comes to us, you just have to go off straight facts. And even if you go off footage, they don't even admit that into court sometimes. It's just like, he can use his imagination, something that never happened. The potentiality of it happening is 1 in a million.
Right. there has to be some kind of correlation between the two.
Right.
You sell, the summertime is here.
Mm-hmm.
Ice cream sales go up. Crime goes up. Who comes up with these?
I'm not sure.
And
I'm really not sure. I don't, like I said, technology. I don't know about on your feed. What comes up on your Instagram feed or YouTube feed?
you know, I don't follow. I see some people that follow like pages. You know, they got these different pages with like stories and world star stories. I don't follow those pages.
Okay.
I hate seeing people fight. Period. But I definitely hate seeing African Americans and the youth, you know, particularly fight. I hate seeing those videos. Right. I hate seeing that two sisters are fighting outside. You know, you got these people coming up to this family's house talking about, I'm gonna wait outside for you. I'm gonna come knock the door down, running in people's house, fighting. So you don't expect to die? You don't expect to get stabbed or shot, running into somebody's house? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. I don't know if consequences just aren't viewed the same or if they just have no care. I'm not sure.
They have no care.
I'm not sure.
And so for us as African Americans, and I see, okay, well, yeah, you see other races having, you know, having these issues and, you know, these police battles, you know, and stuff like that. But particularly when I see African Americans in these videos, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. And I just feel like, you know, everybody has their phone out. And so nowadays, people feel like that phone is their freedom to do whatever they want to. I got you on camera, so I can talk to you the way I want to talk to you. I can say whatever I want to say to you. I can curse at you. Well,
and that's a big situation with me. Because I was raised with my father, specifically with women talking to men. I see that a lot on social media now. Women just calling them out of their name in the most uncouth manner. You can hear so many curse words that'll make old women blush 10 times over. But my father, he was raised, you know, please be prepared for the consequences that come when you use that language with this man. And if you put your hands on this man, please be prepared for him to turn around and hit you back.
Right.
So I don't think household parenting, you know, warranted what the consequences were going to be if you keep that behavior outside of this house. So for the people who did have those consequences, it's kind of like you're more alert on one hand, but on the other hand, you see if this person is not understanding the value of keeping your hands off me, why should I? Right. You know, so I see the conflict in a lot of people on social media right now. They're like, you hit me, so I'm gonna hit you back. But I wouldn't have hit you if the shoe was on the other foot. Right.
Right.
That's difficult. That's difficult for a lot of people.
So, I mean, obviously, technology doesn't serve as well. It's not. I mean, it's effective in GPS, right? It's effective in calling somebody for help. And even
information.
And even information, just general information. I mean, I love Google. When I don't know something, boy, Google.
Get anywhere with Google and God.
She, he, whoever it is my friend.
Yes,
I'm on it every day. Teacher be like, "What's this word mean?" Ain't nobody answering that. Hold on, let me Google this real quick. Hey, okay, I got that answer.
Google got your back.
I got that answer. You know,
Google is right there.
I mean, I think that's I think that's crazy. What
Google? It goes with technology as much as a sunroof does with a car.
Right. So,
I mean, the whole aspect of technology is the car. And Google is just the sunroof. But how is it operating under the hood, though?
Right.
You know, so like with social dynamics, I don't know if technology helped or hindered in that way. In regards to everything else that we just named, it might be pretty good. Like the age of information solely relies on Google. Yeah. I don't know what happened to encyclopedias and dictionaries.
I mean, it's hard, you know. It's kind of like flipping through the Bible. You know, if you don't know your Bible, you know, you flipping, and the pastor keep asking you, "Are you there yet?" And you, well, hold on, everybody ain't saying amen.
I don't know yet.
I don't know yet. Hold on.
The first Kings, the second Kings.
Right.
Which one is it?
Is that in the front or the back? Is that after Genesis? Hold on.
Old Testament? Huh. Okay.
Like you like trying to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I do think, you know, like you said, I think it definitely hindered, you know, social forums.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, nowadays, I mean, people can't even talk. You know, they can't talk to each other. They can't air out anything that they need to say without letting somebody else know, without putting a subliminal message out there. Or even a direct message is just going on a rant and tagging that person. It's like, yo, y'all was best friends just last week for 5 years, right? So she didn't pick you up. You was late. You don't give her gas money, right? Every time she takes you to work. But this first incident, now you want to blow it up. And it's like next week, now y'all friends and you adding her back on. And it's like, oh, you know, this is what friends, I hate when people say, oh, like, because... Like I see these memes and stuff like that. It's like, oh, real friends fight, you know, or real friends, you know, long-term friends will fight and then have each other's back at the end of the day. It doesn't matter if you fuck up. No, what? Excuse me?
What kind of friendship?
We can't disrespect each other.
That's important. That's important. Respect is very important.
I think that's huge. And I think definitely social media in a lot of regards, I think it disrespects just the social communication.
I didn't think about it like that. Okay.
It definitely does.
I didn't think about it like that.
I hate putting my you know, I do vlogs and all these other things. I throw some stories and a little bit of stupid singing and stuff like that on there.
You got vocals?
No, I ain't got no vocals, but I will do what I do.
Is it up in there? Is it?
You know, but
is it up in there?
Man, you got some?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm strictly a poet.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's all I do.
Tender as the sun rises and the moon falls in the abyss of the sunflowers, still I rise. That ain't the same.
This is my instinct. I'm just waving it like.
I tried it.
Yes.
What does it mean to be on code?
I would say if you have a nationality who is under attack, they all would respond the same. No matter if they disagree with the method or not, if they're under attack, the most effective way is the best way. Another thing about being on code, if there is something that is humiliating a person that you don't even know, but the humiliation, it comes to you in the form of empathy. Like, I could have been in that situation. So let me go and help that person, get them out of that situation. That would be on code. It all has to do, to me, it all has to do with the idea of if one person is in a situation and you're not in that situation, how can you help that person who is in your nationality? If you can't help, if you're not helping, then you're pretty much belittling in the same effect, just in a different manner. Okay. So that would be.
Would it change the dynamics if the two people that were in the situation were both of your same race?
That would be on code, like both of them in the same race. However, if there's a African American and a Mexican walking down the street, seeing another African American being taken advantage of, and they go over there and help, I wouldn't call that not being on code. But it just doesn't serve the same purpose. Like, I still thank you for your help. Don't get me wrong, I still thank you for your help because that was empathy. You showed that.
Right.
And chances are I really needed your help. But as far as there's a black person going through something over here, and a Mexican is walking down the street, and another black person is walking down the street, the black person is recording, but the Mexican decided to step in, I would call that a break in the code. Like, you're not there.
Okay.
You're not there.
Yeah.
But I still thank that Mexican from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah,
like,
definitely
thank
still
you.
thanking him. I think that kind of goes into there's this thing called the innocent bystander syndrome or theory. Forgive me on the wording of that, but it's pretty much saying that out of fear, people don't engage in something that they feel is not their business, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they won't engage until one other person engages, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously, all the time you don't have the same race, right? Obviously, unless it's in the same neighborhood. But then you get into these situations. Like I grew up, and we used to have parties at this park we used to have.
Mm-hmm.
But then, after a while, you got somebody's aunt and somebody else's aunt fighting. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, instead of the uncles going in and breaking it up, everybody's rooting it on.
Mm-hmm.
And you're allowing them to fight.
Right.
And you're saying that's just her. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is disruptive. Being on code is definitely disruptive.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's been like that for a very long time.
It has. It's unfortunate, but at the same time, the question is to be posed: how do you change the direction of such a traumatic shift? Like, I want to say, prior to 1980, I think you had a pretty decent code being represented amongst us.
For sure.
I would like to say that police brutality wasn't at an all-time high. But then again, we didn't have any cameras.
Right.
We didn't. The news coverage may get you, a Rodney King incident here or there, but who's to say? So I really can't judge. I can't scale it that way. But I do want to give prior to 1980 the benefit of the doubt and say, no, I don't think you would have as many traumas happening against a certain group that was on code at the time.
Right.
I just can't bring myself to say it.
Mm-hmm. And definitely since then it's fallen off. We used to have family reunions, right?
Used to. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Is that a thing of the past?
You just get, family distancing themselves. You got, a couple of my aunts, they were having some problems with each other, right? And so just throughout time, it just stopped, nobody was motivated. One aunt would try to put something together, and the other one, wouldn't be in the same bowl, and so it just, everybody, if one aunt with the rest of the kids wouldn't come, right, then you take away that part of the family.
Yes.
Right? And then so everybody's like, well, they ain't gonna come, so I ain't gonna go. And then you don't like this aunt, or you don't like this uncle that comes, and this one always smells, and this one always drinking, and
That's
so.
Unfortunate.
But when everybody was as a collective, right, you didn't mind all that because my aunt would put my uncle in check, right, or this cousin would come, and as long as he had that cousin, they were always good. And so you really just took away that really. I think it impacted, and for a lot of families who don't get to experience family reunions, who might not even know their family. There's some families that grow up and don't know that they have a aunt on the other side of of the street, even sometimes, or who they dad, and so it's tough. It's tough.
So if you were put in a situation, how would you generate a family reunion? 2020 coming up in the year 2020, how would you put it together?
2020, man, Facebook is big. I just got into Facebook last year.
Did you miss the wave from 2009
I
to
did.
2012?
I got out of Facebook. I logged off in 2014, just for work and stuff like that. I logged off and then came back last year. But I would definitely go through Facebook. I think that's, as we said, everybody's on social media. A lot of people are on social media. So reaching out to as many people as I can, but consistency is the best. It's best,
Consistent in what manner?
And communication and making sure that people are accountable, right?
With all of them on the Facebook. On the Facebook group.
So you put together the group. You say, hey, you got to give people a date.
Yes.
You got to give people a time.
Yes.
You got to let people know, hey, this is a family reunion. This is not a me bringing y'all to my event. So everybody's going to contribute.
Okay. Right. Everybody can't bring plates.
Everybody can't bring plates. Empty
plates.
Want to be served, right? And so you try to delegate that because everybody's good at something. And then once you do that, okay, now you check in, whatever the date is that you have. Okay, now you're checking in with people to say, hey, you got this still, you got that, hey, you guys still good, right? And I try to implement, being consistent with people and making sure that our communication is still on point.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, coming closer to the date, nobody's left out. And if somebody is left out that don't have a Facebook, hey, you have their number, can you reach out to them?
Mm-hmm.
And if not, let me get their number.
Mm-hmm.
And so now everybody's included,
Okay.
And even if you don't follow a person, right? So somebody else might be following someone in the group. They see, the invitation, so now they can come. And so still there's this web that's just unfolding, and I try to start it that way.
So you put the group together, give them time, dates, things to bring outside of plates.
Mm-hmm.
That rhymed. And then you just follow up. Okay. Would you be mad if they backed out the closer that it got towards the date? Like, let's say the date was Cinco de Mayo 2020.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's disappointing. I think because you gave so much time, if you work, you know that you have to let your boss know that you request a date.
Mm-hmm.
And so if by the time a lot of people say, "Oh, I couldn't get a day off." Mm-hmm. Now, if I give you a week in advance, right?
Mm-hmm.
I get it. I don't expect you to get the day off.
Mm-hmm.
But now, if you've been invited for 6 months plus, and at the end of it, you say, "I gotta work," right? Where's the accountability at? Because obviously, you didn't put in a request.
Okay.
Because that's significant, right? And that's enough time allotted for your job to say, "Hey, okay, we can find somebody not to work on that day."
Mm-hmm.
And I take it like even when I got married, same thing. Some family didn't get invited, and it wasn't anything personal. Some did, and then some didn't show up. But then leading to it was like, "Oh yeah, I'm coming. I'm gonna be there. I'm so happy." And then when the time came, nobody said that they weren't coming. Right? The ones that didn't come.
Mm-hmm.
And then later on, right? "Oh, the pictures are so beautiful." I'm sorry. What were you? I'm not upset. I just want to know now. What happened?
Okay.
Oh, I had to.
That's blunt right there.
Right?
Okay.
And so it's like, again, I'm not upset because I had a good time, and the people that came, they were able to benefit and had a good time as well. So we showed up, but you didn't come. I invited you. People don't know that you pay for a wedding, right? So you pay for people to come and celebrate with you.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it goes. And
they're
so
very expensive.
Your plate is being paid for.
Mm-hmm.
I could have put somebody else in your position,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If I would have known 2 weeks in advance, hey, I'm not coming. Or 1 week in advance, hey, I'm not coming. 72 hours. But because family is family, they don't feel like they need to reach out. But if your job is on the line,
there needs to be a way that we can implement this on the wedding invitations.
right?
Like, hey, do you know this wedding is not free?
And it says send out reminders.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't go, don't go.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But because your sister, right? So it's one of my cousins, right? But one of my cousin's sisters is gone, but you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So let her know. So let me know.
Right.
Right. But that's as far as communication goes, that's kind of where we go from there. But again, I don't want anybody to feel like there's no ill will. I will still go to somebody's birthday and be like, "Yo, what's good?"
Right.
Because that's just I'm moved on.
Come through.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Life is gone. You missed out.
Hey.
You missed out.
They'll never get that day back again. They'll never get that. You just won't. You just won't.
Now, one question too. I'm really closing in on time, but this is fine. I like this question. What do other ethnicities value that we as African Americans don't?
I see with my own eyes, they value family. They value the time that they have with family. And it's not to say that we don't, because I know people living in grandma's house with cousins on top of cousins. Mm-hmm. It's not to say that we don't value. It's the fact that once they come together in communion, there's no outsider that can come in and break the bond that they're having. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I had a Mexican friend when I started East Bay. She died, but we went to a barbecue, I want to say, that they were having, and I walked up and everybody was, operating in their own circle, but you knew from outside looking in, okay, they're all together, that's family. And one person tried to walk up and everybody stopped. They were like, who invited him? Who invited him? And the crazy part is he was Hispanic. And they all looked like, no, he's not with us. But what is it that you want? So just the protection. I saw mothers grabbing kids like, we don't know who he is. I saw, sons grabbing the seniors like, okay, we don't know who that is. So we're gonna protect. And until we figure out who you are, then we'll loosen back up to what we were previously doing. But until then, no. But family is probably one of the most prized possessions in other ethnicities, because what you can do with family, you can't necessarily do with friends, because friends have the opportunity to detach themselves. Family, somebody usually is over them. Like, say you and I are cousins and our mothers are sisters. Say I get into a quarrel with you, the mothers will probably talk to us separately, bringing us closer. As friends, there's no one held at that position to do that. Who?
Right.
And who has the strength or the mental fortitude to get you to see their point like a mother?
Right.
Especially like aunties communicating with each other about their children. Nobody else has that. I noticed when families go into business of other ethnicities, they tend to do very well. Like, you can take a look at corners in the neighborhood, cleaners, liquor stores, just little odd shops that are there. Those are families employing other family members.
Right.
And they are thriving.
Right.
They're not only thriving off of the synchronicity that they have, but your dollar as well. So they're going to do what they have to do, and they will have each other's back if there's something that you're getting out of line with them about. If you're yelling at them, the father will come from the back.
Right.
The sister who was doing something, I don't know what she was doing up under the counter, but whatever she was doing, she pop up. I'm like,
hurry up and buy.
my bad. I don't want no trouble. How about that? Okay, I was originally talking to one, now 7 of y'all are out here looking at me. Okay, I don't want any trouble. So the family operation is just a lot stronger in other ethnicities from what I see.
No, I do. I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I feel like we get into this trap mode that fun is the first priority. So we worked hard.
Mm-hmm.
So I've worked for what I want. So I need to go to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I need to go out. I need a drink.
Mm-hmm.
I deserve a drink.
Mm-hmm.
I worked all week. I worked my butt off. So I know my aunt's coming into town, but I don't want to hear him out.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I don't want to see it. Right?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm guilty.
We make excuses.
I'm guilty.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But then one excuse, right, is okay. If you want to go have fun one weekend, it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
But it starts to become a habit that it'll be all right this time too. It'll be all right next time.
Mm-hmm.
And so we just get into this comfortability that excusing ourselves from our own kind
Mm-hmm.
is a good thing. It's allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And that poses a question like, everybody's I love to be black.
Mm-hmm.
People like to imitate our culture. People like to.
It's fun.
Right? It's fun. But then when we look at ourselves, do you appreciate yourself? Do you really love your black skin? Right? Is it enough? Is it enough for you to be black, to be around your black, people?
Mm-hmm.
I say African American, but for consensus.
That's a really good question. I'd have to ask at least 10 people.
At least 10, you'd have to ask.
To critically think about this. Critically think about, outside of the dancing and outside of the rapping, what is it that you love about you? I need to have that
specifically
question.
you, like not anybody,
Not anybody else.
right?
Just if your name's Aladdin, what do you love about Aladdin?
It'll be hard. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
people don't think like that. It's
That's
easy
true.
to cover up.
That's true.
It's easy to just put on a shield and an umbrella and say, "This is me today,
Mm-hmm.
and I get to be whatever I want."
Okay.
It's discomfort.
Then the next question would be, if you realize that they can't give you a single thing, is it possible that they can love someone else who they've grown up with their entire life?
Right. It's hard to think that can go hand in hand.
Mm-hmm.
That your love will
Yes.
be available if it's easy for you to be upset.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at somebody that's your own, you're like, ugh, just what you say makes me, you just hurt my bones.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I know the feeling.
But if you're talking to, Sally, John, and Susan,
Mm-hmm.
right, you get to laugh in their face. Everything is good. I always think about the operator mom, the telephone mom. They was talking, I was talking about. You didn't yell at the kids, right? You didn't tell them how ugly they was and how their daddy stank and how your grandma this and all this, right?
Uh-huh.
But then like that phone ring and they, hello, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Hold on,
Mm-hmm.
hold on now.
You're a whole nother person.
You're a whole nother
A
person,
whole nother person.
but you don't like your situation,
You're not Kim anymore. Who are you?
right?
Who are you right
And
now?
I think-
Who answered the phone?
I think that's what we fall into.
Mm-hmm.
I think we fall into an invisible wall of self-hate.
Okay. I was watching the interview with Nikki Giovanni and James Baldwin. And James Baldwin was posing the question, at what point in my life as a black man do I get to truly be who I am? Because at work I have to be someone.
Right.
When I'm driving my car, I have to be someone. When I step out of the car, I have to be another person. When I'm walking into a store, I have to be another person. When I'm walking out of that store, I have to be another person. So when I go home, can I be that person without being criticized? Can I be that person without you thinking less than of me?
Right.
Is that still a reality for
I
you
think it
as a
is.
black man?
I think it is. I speak well, whatever.
Mhm.
I'm educated.
Go ahead, get your education.
I'm intelligent and all this other good stuff. I surprise people. But at the same time, I have tattoos.
Mhm.
I have a nice little afro. So I got a little
Okay.
did it up right here.
What color?
I sound a certain way, right? There's the proper English, right? And it's different proper English from the suburban English and just educated people from, say, the poor neighborhoods and stuff.
Mhm.
Because somebody tell me, "Oh, no, you speak really well." I speak. That's
Period.
all. I just speak.
It's a period at the end of the
That's
sentence.
all that is.
Mhm.
I use my words. I know what words that I'm using. I read. I know what I'm saying and I know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
And so, but when you go into these stores, when you have these interviews, right? How to answer a question,
Mhm.
how you sit up.
So are you answering those questions from you? Is Q answering the question?
For me, from
or
my
is
perspective,
the idea of who Q should be
no,
answering?
you know what? I am a civil activist when it comes to self.
Explain.
And so Malcolm X, R.I.P. Malcolm X, one of the legends out there. And so he was an activist, right? But he spoke, and getting things done by any means necessary. But when it was time to speak, he would speak whatever his mind was,
Mm-hmm.
in whatever context it was, respectfully, always done respectfully, and always done with some type of dignity and integrity.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like for myself, even when I'm giving an argument, if I'm being yelled at, I still have to tell a person how I feel from my soul, from my centerpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but I, when I say activist, I don't give way to just because somebody says something. I'm like, oh, I can't respond back to them. I can't say it this way because they'll hate me forever. Or my teacher is saying something to me that I don't agree with, so now I can't speak back to them.
Mm-hmm.
I would definitely, no, you're wrong. We can argue about this, I'm gonna use my same tone. I don't have to get loud. I don't have to get emotional. I don't have to get crazy. But I definitely try to stay within the confines of my own integrity, code. I guess you can say it's your inner code, to keep it straight, but always real. Like my mom said, she always told me, if you have something to say, say it, but mean what you say, and know how you want to say it. And so anywhere I went, professionally, talking to people, even now, what I say, I definitely have meaning when I'm talking to somebody. But if I'm making a joke, I don't go outside of this. This is the same,
it comes off like that.
It just comes off like,
okay.
I mean, a little bit more excitement.
Okay. The connotation and cadence may change.
But it gets weird sometimes because it surprises people. How cool you are. People don't think you're gonna come off that cool. People don't think that you're gonna be. I was watching this video and this guy, he's a gangster and stuff like that. But it's like, I'm talking about, like, this is where we at right here. This is what it is right here. And it's like, okay, I get it. Right. But then if I go and I'm like, yeah, this is where I come from. I grew up right here in this neighborhood. Oh, he think he better than everybody, right?
I understand.
I can talk. We can talk slang. That's an accent though, because that's not my vocabulary.
Right.
But you put on that because now that gangster, when he's trying to get a job, an earnest job, now he sits up. Now, oh no, I grew up here. Yeah, no, I definitely want to learn. Why are we switching?
That goes back to the James Baldwin. Like,
right, you have to,
which person is answering?
Which person is answering? So I guess everybody switches. I guess not to say that the voice doesn't change, because it does. I feel like I always tell people that your character changes with uniforms. Every uniform you put on, the way you talk to your child, the way you talk to your mom, right? The way you talk to kids versus teens versus adults. But your personality can always stay the same. You can still be funny. You can still make the joke.
That's completely possible.
That's completely possible. You don't have to change that. But some people don't change at all. Some people just straight up all the way through.
Oh man, hey.
It's
what it is.
Right? It's what it is, right?
It's what it is.
Bro, I ain't changed for nobody. It's la la la. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Cursing up the storm. Bro, chill. Oh, you old philosophical. Bro, no, I'm not. I'm just mature. That is all. I'm taking the betterment of life, and I'm just moving it in my own way.
Right.
We all have our way, but you don't have to be from the hood all the time.
Okay. Gotcha.
And that's the reason why. That's one of the reasons why I don't. I came with the episode the N word, because even in professional settings, you got people that say the word in front of their bosses, in front of and it's like, yo, your boss is a white dude or Asian dude.
So are you giving them the go ahead?
Right.
To say this?
Right. That just makes it okay. I scrutinize people all the time, bro. Chill. Don't give me the, oh, excuse me, I'm about to say this word, and think that it's okay.
And still say it.
Right. That gives you no powers to say it. You're still ignorant in that point. Grow up. Don't tell me that 32 years. Don't tell me that however many years you've been born and living, that you can't change how you talk to somebody. If you feel that rudeness is always something that you need to be in, then just go home, lock yourself in the house, and stay there for the rest of your life. I think that's fine.
Hey, it works. It works. You take some ugly out of there, off the street. Take the ugly off the street.
So, all in all, I mean, right. All in all, this the message here, obviously, is just kind of moving through different topics. It's really not so much like the typical question, what are you doing for your community, or anything like that, right? So the message here is, for you as a person, how are you bettering yourself? How are you inspiring not just yourself, but others, right? Your family specifically. African Americans I definitely hold dear, and so I definitely want, you know, my future generations of my culture to be better than what is being put out and labeled as right now. You know, we're looked at as lazy, and it's all combined into one group. We're looked at as lazy. We're looked at as beggars, right? We don't want to do anything for ourselves. We won't have a future, right? And so it's like, in your life, how do you make yourself better? One may ask, is a degree necessary? Some may feel like it's not. Some may feel like it is. But I feel like the more tools that you have on your belt, the less that a person can tell you no. Right? You pick up a book, you have kids, right? You can't tell me that your child is a spit image of you and acts just like you when you have no high school diploma and you disrespect women or you disrespect your man. That makes no sense to me. And so, how do you become better? How do you be the orchestrator of your own family, your own culture? I mean, that question, what are you doing for your community? I mean, it's an individual journey that's so macro, right? It's so grand. It goes on a different, you know, on a way bigger scale than just ourselves. But it starts with ourselves. It starts within. How do you handle your own? And how do you graduate from where you grew up and, you know, the cultural norms that you feel are or you can't get rid of, to, you know, being someone who is thought of to be a politician, even if that's not what you want to be. But some people think, man, that guy's good. He can be anything. That's right. You put people into that mindset. And so, in this situation, I hope during this session that you guys were able to hear something, you know, something that's relatable. Hopefully, if it's something that you feel like you can take to somebody else, you do just that. Any advice that you want to give to people out there? Anything that you want to put out there for the audience that's watching?
I would say what I heard Vivica Fox say lately. How did she word it? I want to say it verbatim. It pays to be nice. So by being nice to people, you never know where you're going to go, who you're going to meet, who's going to remember, who's going to repay you at the time that they may repay you. It just pays to be nice. Yeah.
I like that.
That's about it.
And if you guys know me, you guys here, if you follow me on Instagram, I'm always putting up my blogs and stuff like that, but I always end it with, try to inspire at least one person in the daytime. One conversation, you know, could go a long way. Somebody might be having a crazy day, somebody might be having a good day, right? But that first impression, just of you and nobody else in the world that they came across in that day, just really changed, you know, it could change their life, it could change their day, whatever they were thinking about, you know. And so try to inspire somebody in some way, you know, whether it's tying a person's shoes that can't tie a shoe, whether it's walking you know, an elder across the street that you see, you know, walking across the street, whether it's holding the door open, you know, for, you know, a couple, a man, a woman. It could be the same gender. It doesn't have to always be the opposite gender. It doesn't always have to be for a woman. Women, you can hold the door for a man too, right? And so try to inspire somebody every single day. Bring the positive love and smile. I think sharing a smile goes a long way. You know, I really do think it goes a long way. And I mean, again, going back into that imagination, people look at you. People look at you and see darkness. You know, people look at me. If I have my tattoos out, you know, they may look at a lady if she walks into a store, and before she could actually interact with them, they may have their own perception of her and myself. And you deem one smile, and that changes how they feel. How are you today? Oh, I'm good. And it's crazy. And so, again, I hope you guys are able to get something out of this session. Where can they find you at? Again, I know you said it earlier, but I want to put this on.
They can definitely find me on Instagram at levada.groovy, and that's groovy with a Y. That's levada.groovy. levada.groovy.
Okay, and then give us one guilty pleasure of yours right now.
Oh my God, I don't want to say. Didn't I just tell you I'm progressing?
Yeah, give us one.
Nachos, man.
Oh, that's I love nachos. But you know, tacos is my thing.
Tacos are good.
But
nachos
is.
But that extra cheese.
See,
I'm gonna have some tomorrow too. I'm thinking about it right now. I'm like, ooh, I can't wait.
Okay.
Ooh.
Nachos. I like that. I like that. See, I always ask that one question before. I always ask, what's a guilty pleasure? It's just one of the random questions that I ask. You guys know where to find me on Instagram. It's Mr_DEFILS. Look for me. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe and share. Make sure somebody hears this message. I'm gonna put these up. We should be coming out with this session on YouTube very soon. They're gonna be dropping really soon.
Great.
Ms. Levada, I'd like to thank you for
having me
and joining me on this session.
Yes, sir. The next time I come, I'll be coming as dapper as you.
We're gonna be, you know, I did a little something. I can't say it. I'm sweating under here, but it's all right. They had an AC blowing earlier, but it ain't no more.
It's not. I was like, yeah, this is what I like right here. Cozy. Yeah, this is my airplane gear. So.
And before I go, real quick, check out them sister locks. Them things, it's popping. I wanted to say that earlier, but I know we was into a conversation, but them things would be popping right there. So shout out to the.
You know what? These is regular dreadlocks right here. Now my mother, she got sister locks.
She got sister locks.
She got sister locks.
Okay. Well,
got one sticking up right there.
That's all good. They looking good. They looking fresh. Look,
they don't know how to lay right now.
They don't know what they look. They on their own.
They tight right now, but I guarantee I'm gonna be popping by the end of the night. I guarantee you.
That's good.
I guarantee you.
Well, I appreciate you for sharing it.
Thank you.
It's really a blessing to have. You know, just people join me for something that I really like to do.
I can't wait till Aaliyah joins you.
I really can't wait. We're ready for that.
Yes. And if you ever get a chance, ask her about her mom, because her mom is dope.
Okay. We'll do.
She's dope.
Shout out to Aaliyah. We don't worry. We're gonna come and tag you in there.
Girl, we come and fight.
Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank y'all for watching. It's a QzoneFreeality. I'm out of here.
Did I get my smile popping at the end? Oh wait, is it still rolling?